Right, hi guys, welcome back to MK Sportscars. We're back in the workshop, a little workshop. You've had a bit of a tease of track day stuff for the last few weeks, so we thought, well, we've got quite a few builds going on, so I'm going to start off with this one. We're just going to go through this one, there's quite a lot to talk about. What is it? Well, it's a Hayabusa engine, which I know you love. Everybody loves a Hayabusa engine. It's on a cup chassis, so, but it's not any Hayabusa, it's a Generation 1, and how the difference you can tell with Generation 1, well, you've got these sections here, which is your valves that can be mounted on the top here for Generation 2. They're up here, and they have the 4 ports on the Gen 1 above the exhaust. That's all to do with exhaust gas recirculation and all that stuff. We blank them all off. We don't use them for the pair valve system. It's normally, this one would have a pair valve that run right the way down and down the bottom here with metal pipes. But so Gen 2 has them up here in the rocker cover, and Gen 1 has the 4 ports. Gen 1 Hayabusa, you can see, not standard. It's got a different kind of manifold to our normally, and a big turbocharger strapped to it. So this particular one for Simon's car, and had the engine and the running gear. It's come out, and we're using that in this project for him. Amazing bit of kit. I know this makes well over 400 horsepower. I mean, it's phenomenal. I've been out in this car before, it was all torn apart. It's a phenomenal car. So 400 horsepower, got a standard throttle bodies here. This is the plenum that's been supplied. It's not one we do. Normally, this sits here, like so, wallop. Now, and you'll have bracketry to support it all. But if we do that, it's going to have a big hole in the bonnet. We don't like big holes in the bonnet, so we're going to end up making an adapter to bring this down lower here. Now, if you're doing a Cup 400, it's very, very different, because we have angled throttle body adapters that bring this down, and we have a RLM billet plenum all along that. So it's slightly different, but using the existing stuff, we are going to be making something that will bring this to there and join up. Now, this is on the intake side, so it's not too bad in that sense, and we'll join this up to all of the other bits that are there. So secondly, what else is going on with this? There's a lot of modifications that need to be done with your turbocharger. Obviously, you need bigger injectors. The engine needs to be built, so you need rods, pistons, it'll be spacer plate, it'll be loads of things in there that need to happen to make this for that sort of horsepower. Do you believe you can get away with a small amount, like 4 psi around that sort of on a stock engine, but generally you've got to build them. Now, this runs the billet sump system, wet pan. It did have dry sump. We've converted that from dry sump to wet sump. You probably think, why? It's a sprint car, so it's fine. So what we've had to do then is, because of the way we run the sump system, we've had to put in what's called a mechanical scavenge pump. So this sits here off the starter section here, and it has a mechanical pump that will then here scavenge from the base of the turbo. So we run the pipe work from that into the turbo. You can run little electric ones and do that, but this is the one. Nice bit of kit, really nicely engineered. They're available in the marketplace. It's not something we manufacture, but it's an aftermarket kit. Really, really nice bit of kit. So with that, when we fit the wet sump system, you get a nice little dipstick then to check your oil level, which is very, very handy, rather than a wet sump where you sort of have to do it when the engine's running and everything else. There is another video about wet sump and dry sumps and everything else. So what we got here going on at the front here, all the header tank systems in. So we've got our catch tank and header tank in here. All coolers mounted behind. Normally try and mount them at the front, but as a sprint car, when it's only going to be doing like 1 minute runs, etc., this car will probably struggle to get up to temperature with this size of oil cooler. So when we're at the start line, we're going to make sure it's going to be up to temp, so we're running it in that section. Then we've got the intercooler and all the bracketry. There's still more bracketry to come on this. There's more shrouding to be done, which is a laser cut part we have made anyway to our 70mm core rad, and a big 120 watt fan. Nice quick rack in here. This is 2.2 heavy duty, it's a nice quick rack. And if, for some of you who haven't seen this before, this is all our billet front end. So push rods, these are left and right hand thread, so you can adjust the ride height by just unlocking the knock nuts and twisting it, and that will adjust ride heights for you without changing preload on your damper. On the damper here, we've got some nitrons. They're 2 1/4 nitrons. Really hard to see in there. I'll probably be able to show you on the back ones in a minute, but they've got some nitrons in there, 2 1/4. Very nice damper, obviously. Going away from our normal Protec supply, but this is what the customer supplied into us to fit for him. And on the front here, we've got our 265mm disc, cross drilled and grooved, billet front upright, bolt-on wing stays, all the steering rack ends, all the wishbones all in, and a wheelwood caliper. But these are nice, very modular, very easy to repair, maintain, service, everything else. If you want to take this nut off, pull it out, clean the bearings up, put them back in, grease them. It's a 5-minute job once you've unbolted the caliper just to take it off. It's not a big job to service the bearings on, which is what we quite like, especially in the motorsport. So, moving through the car here, ECU panels in, batteries in, and we've got an ECU here. This is one the customer supplied. It's the MBE management 9A4 system that was running in the car before. So we're not messing around with that. We've cut that out of the loom. Josie's done a great job, ready, and we're wiring that in to the engine bay. And then it'll run our ECU, our wiring loom. So the fuse box panels, everything here, so it's easy to access if necessary once the bulkhead's off. So that's running all your accessories. So you can see it's on here: coolant, dipped line, main beam, ignition, start, all of that stuff, and then your fuse box in here. It's got our collapsible IVA spec steering column, so it collapses here on this joint, it slides in and out. In the event, let's say unlikely event, that you have an incident, this will full up in here with a quick release boss on there. Prop shafts all in, so it's a 2-piece prop in this section. Going to be running it's not on there at the moment, we're going to be running electric handbrake on this car. So no handbrake in there, that's the reason, but electric handbrake will be running. Again, keeps it all out of the way from your elbow, gives you a bit more room. Got the nicely branded billet pedal box, which looks rather shiny and bling bling. Very nice. And the funky gear lever, which is really nice actually. When you've got your steering wheel in place, it's the perfect height for really quick gear changes. And again, look, it's so easy, so light, and it responds back to the same place. Very nice job indeed for that. Moving on, floor pans are all in, all of that stuff, and then we've got the rear end. So now you can see a bit more clearer the nitrons. They have an adjuster here for increasing or decreasing damper on them. We've changed the spring rates on these though to accommodate what Simon wants the car to do. And then we've got our top and bottom wishbones in. We've changed the spec on these slightly, actually give more clearance going forward, and just seem to work. We've done lots of testing on them now, so no problem. And then we've used it's original Sierra rear bearing carrier and flange, and then this is having a Willwood caliper, so we've got our machine bracket that we put on there as well. Moving around, we've got a Sierra diff in here. This is a 3:1:4 ratio. Gives about 140-ish. It's on standard gear in the engine, it's about 144, 145 I think it is with the wheels and tyres that he puts on in that combination. Fuel tank's all in. It's a fuel tank with no back panel here with a filler cap. We put it in here, which is a motorsport based car, so we have a screw cap, and then we're just going to put in the pump system. Now, one thing you do have to do is on our pump system, we have to upgrade the fuel pump. This is run external pressure regulator. Normally you have one in here, but the pump here, as 340 litres per hour we have to run on this, and this is our standard setup. Actually, I've got one. Here's one I made earlier. This is a standard one, which is the filter and everything else all combined, and this is set at 4 bar. But because the way Simon wants the engine to run, we've got a return going back in, fuel line running out, up to a pressure regulator, then a return back to the tank. Whereas on the Cup 400 we tend to run this setup with that pump, and we map it at 4 bar. Moving round, same on this corner, that's all in, drive shafts in, all the billet uprights all in as well. Existing source system that's supplied by the customer. We've modified this chassis in this area to make it all fit. Normally there's 2 bars that want to sit where the turbo is, so we've had to make a cradle that joins it, but you can still get the turbo out the front here. It's joined in, corner braced here, triangulated in that section, and making sure it all clears. And if you want to service a car or get stuff off, you can unbolt the turbo and it comes out the front, the manifold will drop, the exhaust will drop out as well. So we're trying to make it serviceable. And then the other corner, exactly the same as the other side. This is all in with your billet, with your Willwood calipers, full braided hoses right the way through the car, which is nice. These just bolt onto the nipple there. It'd be nice, it'd be bolted on. So nice and quick and easy. And if you want to bleed the brakes, they're just nice and simple as well. So oil cooler lines are in. That'll go into down there. There's a couple of options you can do with cooling on these as well. That's a 34 roll cooler. It's a fairly big size. We run that standard on the Cup 200 and we don't have any temperature issues on track. In fact, on a cold day like today, you'd probably be taping it off a little bit because it'd be trying a bit too cold in that sense. So next jobs, what we're doing next is plumbing. We're going to be doing all the intercooler pipe work up to here. Thinking about the air filter location, bringing it out in here, because this we've done so that it keeps all the turbo and everything inside the side panel, so it's nice, neat and looking factory and stock. And then we'll be plumbing that in. Engine, this will be running a little electric water pump. Actually, I'll find that. A bit like one of these. So we've got a couple of bits that's been supplied by the customer we've got to modify. Got the blast valve. This has got to sit in this line here that will come up to the plenum. We'll be putting that in here somewhere. Putting that in this section. Not on this pipe work, that's all going. Same as electric water pump. Probably reuse this one. It's been functionified as a little Bosch one. The 90mm on the out. That little electric one. Normally we would run the stock water pump, but the way this has been set up before with the electric water pump, we'll plumb that in from the top here. So you have a little electric water pump, comes here, and you've got your hot side and your cold side on that side of the radiator, so that will be plumbed in quite nicely. So yeah, quite a lot of jobs to do on this. So if you're following this, if you've not seen before Cup 400, go onto our YouTube channel and see what a Cup 400 Hayabusa turbo going around Donington is. These are ballistic. It's like getting in a catapult and ping, it is unbelievable. Just the 200 is enough for me, certainly is. But when you're at this level, you're supercar killers. It's absolutely will blow your mind. But the good thing is they're actually quieter. The turbo really quietens them down quite nicely. So rolling into there, that's the next job. So next jobs are plumbing, intercooler pipe work, some of the wiring and everything else, and then we'll be on to the little jobs like dry fit the bodywork. I think it's going white, I do believe, on that one with black corners. It looks really sharp, white and black, doesn't it? So with don't know, I'll tease you on the stripe. He's given me some suggestions on that. It's a funky colour going on, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, if you know more information about this, which is a Cup 200, Cup 400, the turbocharged stuff, come and see it's a factory here. You're welcome to visit anytime. The kettle is always on. Or hook us up, phone call, email, or even a Zoom call if you're further afield. We're happy to talk to you. So that's it for this week and the Cup Turbo Booster. We'll catch you next time on the next film. Remember to like, share, subscribe. See you next week, guys.